Hi, this is Kim, and you are watching ECT TV, episode 37. So, welcome to ECT TV episode 37. Today I'm going to show you how to make these cool rings. They're adjustable and they have some fun shapes on the end. So I'm going to show you how to make them. And I got a new tool that I'm going to share with you that you can use to make these rings, or you can actually just use your pliers to make the shapes. So the tool just makes it a little easier. So let's just get into it. I will show you what I'm talking about. So, I recently picked up this new tool. Well, it's new to me. It's a Mandrel 4X. It's made by Beadsmith, and it has 4 different shapes of mandrels. So, I'm just going to open it up so we can look at them. So, you have 4 different shapes, and then it has this interchangeable handle. So that comes off, and then you can use the handle with all 4 of them. So we have a triangle. This one's an oval. This one's a circle. And honestly, if you have a ring mandrel, you kind of already have this, except it goes smaller than a ring mandrel. So that's helpful. And then there is the square. And so basically, to use it, you just snap in whichever top you want to use to the handle, and then you would wrap your wire very tightly around the mandrel. For what we're going to use, we're just going to be wrapping once, but if you're using this to make, you know, necklace or bracelet or something where you're going to kind of do some wrapping and then put a bead on, you just wrap, slide the bead on, continue to wrap, and then just make sure your ends have loops or something to hold everything on at the end. And this set is really not that expensive. I forget exactly how much I paid, but I think it was no more than $4 or $6 or so. I did get it on sale, so don't quote me on that, but it's not super pricey. So for the project we're going to be doing, we're actually going to be using the triangle version of this. But you could use any shape, really. Once you see the ring tutorial, you'll understand that. And in fact, if you don't have this tool, don't freak out, because you can use your chain nose pliers to make the shapes. So let me show you what else you're going to need. Okay, so I already told you about this mandrel, and like I mentioned, if you don't have this tool, you can use chain nose pliers to form your shape, or if you have these squared off pliers, these are going to be super helpful. These are probably the best pliers to use, and I'm going to be showing you another part of it where these will be useful. They're more helpful than chain nose pliers. Again, if you don't have these pliers, it's okay. Just make them with your chain nose pliers, but if you have this kind, the squared, then that is perfect. And you'll need your ring mandrel, and then we're going to be using 18 gauge half hard round wire. And I almost forgot, you need wire cutters to cut your wire. Okay, so the first step is to cut off about 1 foot of wire. And this is, like I mentioned, 18 gauge half hard wire, and it's round. Okay, now we're going to kind of find the middle loosely. This is kind of how I do it. I just bring the two ends together, and then you kind of have a basic middle there. And now I'm using my square pliers. They have the squared off top, but if you have flat nose or chain nose pliers, you can recreate this too. These work really well because they have like a very, you know, square nose, and I want to make a square. So I'm just kind of holding where I basically think the middle is, and I'm bending to kind of make a square here, and I'm just sort of pulling the wire so it's straight. But you don't want to do it too much because that hardens the wire, and then it gets kind of difficult to work with. So, do you see I have a square here? If you're using chain nose pliers, you might not be able to just kind of do it that way. You might have to make two bends. However that works for you, then go ahead and do it. Okay, so now we're going to grab our ring mandrel. And with this type of ring, it's an adjustable ring, but there's not like a significant amount of play in it. I mean, there is a little bit, but what I usually like to do for adjustable rings is kind of know which finger I'm going to wear it on, and which for me, it's obviously this finger because that's what I'm putting it on. As you can see, this is a pretty big ring. It makes a statement. It's very geometrical. But decide kind of what finger you would want to wear it on, and then check what size that finger is, and then make the ring a size smaller, because with these rings, they can expand and get larger, but it's very hard to make them be smaller. So if you put it on, it's a little snug, you can always stretch it out a little bit, and it's more difficult to make it smaller again. It's possible, but just a little bit more difficult. Okay, so we have this piece of wire that we made this nice little squared off end to, and now we're going to wrap it around our ring mandrel a size smaller than we're trying to make. And so we're just going to wrap around, and when we come back around on this side with the two loose ends, they're going to go on the sides of that square piece we just made. So that becomes the middle. Let me flip this around a little here. And then just make sure everything, I made this a little crooked. Just kind of hold down on that middle part and make sure everything's pulled tightly so it's all even and the ends are good. Alright. And now I'm just making sure nothing's twisted or weird. See how it kind of goes in a little bit? I'm just pulling it out a little bit so these two sides are straight instead of kind of tilting in. Alright. Okay, so now if you can try it on your finger if you like. I always tend to do that, and I'm just doing it naturally here. So where this little part is, we're going to cut approximately the rest of the wire off, so there's only about an inch left for that. And it's, in my case, this is the size of ring I'm making. It's kind of where it starts to bend back around, but if you're making a smaller ring, it won't be that. So I'm going to leave, it's about 1.5 inches of wire. So I'm going to cut the wire there, and it's going to be even, and I'm making flush cuts here. That means I'm using the back of my wire cutter as the flat part toward the work. And now we are going to make triangles. So I am going to use my new fun tool that I have. You may need to use your chain nose pliers or your square pliers. I'm going to show you on this tool though. You know, since it's new and I just got it, and I kind of have a sense that a lot of people do own this tool. So I'm actually going to wrap on the second tier. So there's this big long first tier here, and then there's this second tier. So basically you just hold the wire against here, and I'm only wrapping around once, so it kind of makes a difference. So I'm making sure that my end is flat against the side here, and I'm going to just hold this down and wrap tightly all the way around, and hopefully I did this tightly and it resembles a triangle, which it does a little bit. This one side got a little curved, so I'm just gonna fix it up a little bit. So that is one side, and I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side, and I'm gonna just make it so the triangle goes out the other way. So again, I'm just tightly holding on here. Alright, so I kind of messed this one up a little bit. So I'm just fixing it up. This is kind of a new tool for me, so forgive me. So I'm just leaving these triangles kind of how they are on here. If I was using this in some other way, I might want to like take my pliers and kind of pinch it back so it's more straight, but I like how this looks, and basically that's the ring. That's how you do it. And really, for these two ends, if you're not into this whole kind of triangle, square, geometric thing, you can really make any shapes you want on these ends. So you may want to try, if you do have this tool, you may want to try maybe a circle or a square. You might want to put spirals on it, whatever you want to try, but that's how you do it. So have fun. So while I have your attention on ring making, I would love to invite you to my Rings Everyday Month challenge. It starts on April 1st, so if you're watching this when I put it up, that would be tomorrow, Wednesday. And if you're watching this later, it's okay. You can still join in the month of April. You'll just miss the beginning, and you can just pick up wherever we are. There are two versions. There's a free version where you'll get daily emails from me with inspiration and a weekly tutorial from me on how to make a ring. If you sign up and upgrade to the paid version, the premium version, you get a brand new tutorial every single day for the 30 days from me. It's a new tutorial every day. You'll get either videos, PDF ebooks, or both on some days. I will say it's probably a little heavy on video more than anything, and there are also PDFs involved as well. So if you join that, you can join that anytime in April too. If you join in late, you'll start getting emails from me where we left off, but you have access to all the different tutorials you missed. And when you have the premium version, you get lifetime access to them. They're on private password pages that you can come back to again and again, or the videos for those tutorials are also downloadable, so you can download them and keep them. So I invite you to join in. You can click on the link below this video to get signed up, and I am so excited to get started. I'm going to be making a ring every day with you, so I will see you April 1st.